Good evening. This is Zuhdi Jasser with the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. On this Martin Luther King Day, January 15, 2018, I felt the need to reach out to you and talk to you about race relations, about identity politics, and about really what did Martin Luther King stand for and how does it relate, how does it apply to the American Muslim community today in 2018. I was looking at Al Jazeera's website, which is often not good for the health, but it's good to see how the Islamists are thinking globally. And sure enough, at their homepage, they've got quotes from Martin Luther King and what he stood for. And it was just the summit of hypocrisy to see this Qatari publication quoting Martin Luther King and saying, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." And they also had another one of his quotes which said, "This is why right temporarily defeated is stronger than evil triumphant. I believe that even amid today's mortar blasts and whining bullets, there is still hope for a brighter tomorrow." That was Martin Luther King they're quoting, and yet they live in a region under regimes that are the epitome of genocidal tyranny, as we see in Syria, as we see with the Brotherhood, the Islamists of Iran and the Khomeinists and others, and yet they're co-opting Martin Luther King. In the United States, Nihad Awad with the Council on American Islamic Relations is no different. Today, Time magazine, a so-called mainstream magazine, gave this Islamist group with a sordid history connected to Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood, gave them inches, in which Awad lectures American Muslims about the importance of intentional word usage, not to use defamatory code words. Again, trying to control American speech, discussion on Islam, and in fact invoking blasphemy laws in America. He also said, among the greatest lessons that Martin Luther King taught us and which American Muslims can apply today is the importance of well-coordinated strategies carried out by wide coalitions to change the written and unwritten rules around how an entire community of Americans should and shouldn't be treated. So as you can see, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about, of what I believe our legacy should be as American Muslims, is that we are not a monolithic community. We should not see our identity through the lens of race, through the lens of religion, through the lens of a monolith or a collective. Because I believe Martin Luther King's legacy is about the equality of all under American law, under our Constitution, and under God. That is what this holiday today is about. It's not about collectivizing a community under race. In fact, having an America be blind to race. And the Islamists, as you can see, co-opt the message of Martin Luther King to wave the flag of victimization, to say, woe is us, we are the victims of Islamophobia, this contrived term to make Americans feel guilty about addressing Islamist doctrine. And I would say that the message that I teach my kids, that I think we should take home on the Martin Luther King holiday today, is that we need to look inside. We need tough love from the rest of America about the pathologies that are contradictory to the very principles that Martin Luther King taught inside the mosques, where the extreme misogyny, where women are behind curtains, where women can't be on boards, where they don't have the rights to divorce or property, where they often will get their marital rights protected in American legal systems because the Sharia legal system is in the 13th century, where Muslims don't have the right to leave their faith because they're ostracized because of injunctions against apostasy, injunctions against criticizing their leadership. The real civil rights battle in Islam and among Muslims is inside the mosque. The real civil rights battle is in our community, our tribal communities that brought across from Muslim majority countries, be it Syria, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Iran, Pakistan, brought with them here an oppression, if you will, of ideas in which Muslims can't express themselves, in which people who dissent, like the leaders in our Muslim reform movement, are called fake Muslims, fake reformers, when in fact we aren't given the respect of the substance of our ideas, but rather demonized as being anti-Muslim or anti-Islam. And I would reflect in today's civil rights battle within the mosques in Iran. How much attention are we in America paying to the hundreds of thousands trying to seek freedom in Iran on the streets, not only of Tehran, but of Qom and other cities where the theocrats have destroyed their life, where they invoke one form of Islam that the community is trying to change. So as you reflect with your families tonight on Martin Luther King Day, think about the struggle of Muslims within our communities. Don't look at Muslims through the lens of victimization as a collective, which conveniently applies to whatever partisan identity politic that you want in order to racialize being Muslim. But rather think about what tough love would be like for Muslims to really embody the principles of Martin Luther King in our homes, in our mosques, in our communities, and then take those principles abroad to Iran, to Syria, and elsewhere where the theocrats, the oppressive militant dictators, take away their civil rights every moment of every day. We have a lot to be thankful for in America, and let's not let race relations become mixed up in religious reform and modernity and the real issues of religious freedom that are more often than not within the Muslim community suffocated by Islamists and theocrats who believe in a system that's incompatible with American ideology. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. This is Zuhdi Jasser with the American Islamic Forum for Democracy.